Behold, our own Skinwalker. A beast that walks on two legs and is very happy about it at all times. Oh God, and she kisses on two legs too. No, Peach, no. All right, down you go. Go back to playing with your toys. Go back to chewing my leg off camera and licking my hand whenever they drop below frame. Hey everyone, I'm Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And this is our post-Shriek Out reaction for Skinwalker Ranch, which is an odd pick for us to do today. However, I chose it for a few reasons. One is because we're still in the middle of found footage week, and I promised you I was going to find some of the weirdest found footage movies out there, and I think I made good on my promise on that one. I think that between between Devil's Pass yesterday and this one today, I think I kind of nailed it. We'll get to that in just a second. But the other reason why I specifically chose to watch Skinwalker Ranch today is because after watching Devil's Pass yesterday, which was all about the Dyatlov Pass, which is this real life thing that has had people like just curious for generations now. Like, it's one of those things that a lot of paranormal investigators look at and it's like, oh, this could really be some paranormal activity here. But even the people who don't believe anything paranormal still look at the Dyatlov Pass and like, yeah, I don't know what the heck that is. That is a good question. What could this be? So after watching that yesterday, I was like, all right, you know what? Let's find one of these other like unexplained activity kind of movies. Like something that is based on a real world, unexplained, like paranormal incident, and they turned it into a found footage film. And I found that they made one for Skinwalker Ranch, and I've always wanted to learn more about Skinwalker Ranch because even though I'm like fascinated by the paranormal, I've always described myself as someone who isn't a believer of the paranormal, but I really want to be. So I'm always looking into all these like paranormal reports, and yeah, I always look at them and go, well, that's clearly fake, that's clearly fake, that's clearly fake, that's clearly fake. But I keep looking for that one that's gonna make me go, oh, but this could be real. Skinwalker Ranch, I had never like looked into what this is. I had only heard about, and I knew what Skinwalker was. I know that's like basically the Navajo version of a werewolf. Like it's a witch that can turn itself into an animal that walks on two legs, which sounds creepy, but I've looked up like the photos that people say they've captured of like actual skinwalkers, and it's like, that's an animal standing on its hind legs. Peach literally does that whenever she wants a treat. She's not a tiny little Navajo witch. So I had decided, okay, let's watch this and maybe I'll learn some more about what Skinwalker Ranch is. And this movie, okay, so you know how yesterday, Devil's Pass, it was just a straight up mystery for like an hour, and then the last 20 minutes, it went freaking insane? This movie just decided, we ain't got time for that first hour here. You showed up for crazy. Let's just give you crazy.
Although, to be fair, a lot of strange shit has happened on Skinwalker Ranch.
And that's why, like, it was like 10 minutes into this movie, I went, pause the movie. Pause it. I have to look up what Skinwalker Ranch actually is. For anybody who doesn't know what Skinwalker Ranch is, here's the actual reports. There were a couple of farmers on this ranch. They had to leave because it was just too crazy for them. And two reporters went down there and just lived there for a while, just investigating everything that popped up. And the former owners of the ranch, they reported UFOs, Bigfoot-like creatures, crop circles, glowing orbs, and poltergeist activity. All right, that's three completely unrelated things all happening at once. But then those two reporters lived there for a while, and granted, you know, everybody involved in this could just be trying to make a buck. That is immediately where my mind has gone on all of this. Yeah, this one is too weird for me to even like try and play along with. But they lived there for a decent while, and they said that over the course of 50 years, it was dubbed UFO Ranch by many people because of how many UFO sightings appeared on that ranch. But also, there were over 100 incidents that include the vanishing and mutilation of cattle, signs of unidentified flying objects or orbs, large animals with piercing red eyes that they say were not injured when struck by bullets, and invisible objects emitting destructive magnetic fields. Apparently, like I've continued looking into this, Skinwalker Ranch is like ground zero for weird, crazy shit in America. Like, it's Gravity Falls. It's literally like the real world version of Gravity Falls. Because it is just nothing but, hey, can you picture something weird and paranormal? It's gone down at Skinwalker Ranch. And
Like, what was the original name of the farm?
Oh, yeah,
ranch?
because
it wasn't originally Skinwalker Ranch.
It
Because,
wasn't.
like, if it was, then you're, like, guaranteed to, like, have spooky shit all over the place.
Why on earth would you go, hey, Navajos, what's the creepiest thing from your folklore? That we're naming our ranch after it. It was originally called Sherman Ranch.
Sherman, all right.
Yeah, not even close. So yeah, this is a found footage movie, and it is all about this film crew that wants to investigate it, and the guy who is still the last person living at the ranch, and his son disappeared, and his wife left him, and I think they even mentioned that she like went crazy. She's in an asylum.
Yeah, something like
Which
that.
that always happens in these found footage films. It's always like, well, there's the one person who saw it, and they're in the crazy house. That happened in the Slender Man movie we watched. It happened in the Diatla Pass movie we watched. It's happening in this movie. So, yeah, it's like, all right, man. That and people waking up with strange bruises on their body. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. We've seen it so many times. So, they go to investigate this. And the only person there is the rancher whose son disappeared like 8 years ago, I think it was. And this thing actually starts with them interviewing people, and they're interviewing people who are saying, like, yeah, man, he totally did. Like, he totally killed his kid. Like, this whole thing about aliens, like, who the hell even believes that? This guy should be in jail. And I actually kind of like that. I like that they're starting with that, of raising the doubts about whether or not this could actually be true. And man, they stopped doing that instantly. Because early. I mean, the very first thing you see in here is like actual video recording of the son disappearing. But it's like, okay,
yeah, it's like a home video.
Yeah.
Like it happened on his birthday, and like they were like running around the yard, and it's like a big flash of light just appeared over him, and he was just gone. It's like
the guy got abducted by a big special effect. So yeah, they go there. They start investigating this, and I swear to you, it does not take long for just the crazy shit to start happening. Like,
yeah.
I think, like, they're there for a night, and no, it was literally the first night.
yes.
It was literally the first night that all of a sudden they just hear, like, a blah, and the lights are shining. It's like, oh, my head, what's happening? I was like, oh, well, fuck subtlety. This movie is swinging for the fences. And I'll go ahead and let you know, this is not a good movie. Like, maybe you liked it. I didn't.
Like, I think the reason why I liked it is because it was based off, like, an actual thing. Because
Okay.
it got me more interested in,
You
like...
actually, yeah, I've noticed that with you. Like, anytime that a movie is, like, a horror movie is, like, based on, like, an actual thing, you're really into it.
Yeah,
I
but...
need to get you to start listening to the Chilluminati podcast. I think you would dig that.
But at the
everyone
same
should listen
time,
to the
it's
podcast.
like... I kind of feel like they're not being very creative because they are basing it off, like, something else, but it's kind of hard to be creative with the found footage genre.
I don't think that's true at all. I think that found footage actually gives you, like, a lot of room to be really creative. I think that so many people out there just don't give a shit. I think that they're just like, well, I want to make a movie, and I don't really have the money to make, like, a good one, so found footage? Yeah, I think some of the most creative horror films out there have been found footage. I've been really amazed with what's been put out there.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, like, at first it seemed creative, but, like, now it's like a quick cash grab.
It's a brand of filmmaking made for people who don't want to lay down tracks. Like people out there who don't want to set up a dolly rig. Yeah, it's like, all right, yeah, just bing, bang, boom. Which, that's something with this film and the next one that we're going to be talking about tomorrow is that there were so many things in this movie that made me just kind of go, yeah, you guys didn't want to make a found footage film. You really didn't. And you just kind of like cheaped your way through it. Like, for example, you meet every single person in the crew, and they're all doing like the little interview. But then you also meet the cameraman, and the cameraman is just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Just like a very stone-faced guy. And it wasn't until the tail end of this movie, where, spoiler alert, I know we normally say spoiler alert for after the score, but it's a found footage movie. You know how it ends. It ends with the footage having to be found, so pretty much everyone gets taken out. But at the end of this movie, everyone gets taken out, and the cameraman is the last one left. And then you see the cameraman like drop his camera on the ground, and you see like him run around a car and jump in, and you see his feet down next to the camera. And I just went, it has been an entire movie, and I forgot there was someone holding the camera in this found footage film. And it does kind of make me go, oh, these guys did not want to make a found footage film, so they just kind of were forced to because it's, you know, way cheaper. And one way that they tried to get around it being like a found footage film is they made it kind of feel like no one's holding the camera by having the guy holding the camera have 0 lines, 0 personality, nothing to him. So it is just like having a camera there in the room.
Yeah.
Like no one ever like turns to him and talks to him or anything.
Yeah, it's like just in the intro, he just introduced himself in the beginning, and that was it.
Yeah, and he holds the camera throughout the rest of this film, and so many other found footage films will be like, well, you're the camera guy, but the camera guy will still talk. Like think about Cloverfield. Like one person holds that camera for 95% of that movie, but he is still talking non-stop. You might not see his face, but it's like, yeah, you know that the camera guy has a personality. He's part of this team. The cameraman is like, he might as well just be a rig. He might as well just be a big mechanical arm just swooping the camera around. That's the final member of your team.
Like it kind of reminds me of like reality TV, where it's like the cameraman is just like there to observe and not like really partake in anything.
Which here's the thing, when they're doing like interviews and they're trying to like capture like the supernatural stuff, yeah, great, absolutely. That's what the cameraman in a documentary, which is what these guys are making, should be doing. There's so many moments in here in which they're just not making the documentary and they're just like, okay, everything's gone to shit. What do we do now? And it's like, yeah, the cameraman should probably have something to say about this.
Or like he should at least be screaming and running.
That's the other thing. Like that is another thing that I gotta say about this film. I was gonna say this for later, but let's go ahead and do it now. Another big problem I have with this film is that this is one of the worst acted found footage films we've seen, and it's not like anyone is that bad. Until they're supposed to be afraid, and then no, you don't buy that anyone is afraid of anything in this movie. At the end of this movie, the house is being attacked, people are getting taken out left and right, and you see everyone having to run from one room to the other. It's basically like, like it's that. Like I was watching, it's like they're not even doing like the chucking, like they're doing like a. Like just barely moving their arms. Hey Peach, hey our little Skinwalker. Hey, she wants to get up here and talk about Skinwalkers too. Yeah, like nobody in here like was like, all right, fine, I'll pretend to be scared, but this is only what I'm doing in the meantime until I get that call back from NBC. I say that because the lead guy, the guy who's writing the documentary in here, I looked at him and went, I know that guy, and I looked it up. He's on The Good Place. So yeah, he's one of the other people in the neighborhood in The Good Place. So good for that guy for moving on from this piece of crap. I don't know. Like I said, I think you liked it, but we'll get into it. But one of the reasons, but as I was saying, it's hard to talk when Peach is biting my hand. It's okay. She can't do any damage. I'm indestructible to Peach. Oh God, that's so much slaughter. Anywho, sorry for grossing everyone out.
No, it's a shriek out. They're supposed to get grossed out.
Oh God, no kisses. All right. So. Yeah, one of the reasons why I say this is not a good film is because, yeah, they don't know how to make a found footage film. I don't really remember anybody's personality in here. They're all just people looking at strange stuff. I remember the dad's personality.
Yeah, it's like he just wants his son back.
He just wants his son back, but also he is like, I'm going to fuck shit up because it was actually comical to me how many times that dude just ran to grab a gun.
Yeah.
Which I'm understandable because the dude's been living in a UFO like crazy zone for like how long now after his son was kidnapped. So I was like, yeah, okay, I understand why he'd be a little on edge, but it almost became like a drinking game of like, well, there's a car out there. He walks into the other room, comes back with this giant shotgun.
Yeah, it's almost like a very like over a characterization, like a stereotypical like
it's a caricature.
Yeah, hillbilly kind of guy is like who's always like got his gun with him. Like,
it's like there are so many times in which it would like shot of him not holding a gun, very next shot he's holding the gun. It's like, wow, man. And again, it's like, okay, UFOs, strange stuff, like I understand it. But when you think about like what it looks like his entire personality is, I'm gonna go get my shotgun. And like, yeah, okay, it kind of becomes humorous after a point. However, everyone else in here, like, there's nothing to anybody in this movie.
I guess so. Yeah, you're right. But it's like I feel like they kind of like take backseat to like all the crazy shit that's
the thing.
On.
Yeah, that is why even though I was going to say this is not a good movie, I still kind of had fun with it.
Yeah, it's a fun
because it's so crazy ass stupid. Because you just saw all that stuff I list off about what happened at Skinwalker Ranch. They had to fit all that in this movie. And they didn't fit everything, but they got a lot in this movie. And they're like, yeah, we can't lead up to this. Bam, first night, weird noises, weird flashing lights. Second night, a Navajo guy shows up and he goes, "This place was cursed by my ancestors." And man, second movie we have watched this month, and which is like, "Oh, are you Native American? Guess you have magical powers that deal with the demons we're looking into."
Except he didn't really...
He didn't really do anything. He popped up for a day, said like a chant, and then he was like, "I must go. Good luck with all this."
No, it wasn't even that. It's like halfway, like through his chant, he starts like seemed like he was getting like a heart attack or something. It's like, "I cannot help you here. You are on your own," or something like that. So it's like, oh wow.
You're right. I forgot that part. I remember him almost having a heart attack, but I forgot that afterward too. It was like, "Oh, I didn't know that they were fighting back. You're on your own, guys. See ya."
So like, not even the mystical, magical Native American can help these guys.
Hollywood, give a Native American some kind of role that doesn't involve magic, please. Please. Yeah, man. So there was that. And then, like, next night after that, they start seeing, like, giant footprints and cows are getting mutilated. Night after that, they just see a werewolf. Like, flat out, like, there is, like, a big-ass, like, it's like the size of an SUV.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a moment in which it, like, destroys one of their SUVs. It is huge. And it's just walking around the premises. I was like, you didn't even try and hide this.
Nope.
I'm almost impressed with this movie because any other found footage film, it would have been like, okay, well, we see some scratch marks. Half an hour later, oh, there's a howl out there. Another half an hour later, it's like, okay, well, I think I see a silhouette out there. That's definitely a thing. It's like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that's a bad way of doing it. That's actually typically a better way of doing it because you're building suspense. This movie doesn't give a shit about suspense.
Nope.
This movie was like, listen, we spent a whole $25 on this special effect. We're gonna make our money back on this. We're going to make sure that we put it in every scene we possibly can. That giant Bigfoot style werewolf is all over this movie. Like every single time that you're like, it's been a while since I've seen the Bigfoot size werewolf. And here he is again. Yeah, man, it is crazy how many times they just decide to have that thing pop up, or like for how long they would hold on, because it's not even a good special effect.
No.
The special effects suck in this movie. There was a moment towards the end of this in which they're trying to get in the truck to get out of there, like, screw this place, we're gone. Giant wolf monster pops up again, and it attacks the truck, and like you have like a stationary camera like recording the truck being destroyed, and then the people inside the truck, they get out, they go to get help, they come back. The truck has been like crumpled up.
Like twisted.
Like
almost.
twisted, yeah, like it's a tie almost. It is just twisted and crunched together like you're destroying a beer can. And that is the worst effect in this. It so did not look for a second like anything was actually there. And yet these people are standing in front of this thing like, oh my God, you see this thing that it just did? And I was like, brother, do not put that in frame. Do not leave that off to the side. Like, get a quick shot. Oh my God. And then quickly zoom away before we can figure out that's not real. Don't hold on your bad effect. This movie said, fuck that rule. We worked our butts off to make this effect. We're going to put it in the movie. We don't care if it looks bad. It's like,
this is what we spent all our money on.
You almost have to applaud this movie for being willing to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm almost just stunned. Like, all right. You know what? There's no way in hell you thought this looked good. None. You couldn't have thought that looked good. And yet you decided to focus on it anyway. Slow clap lead to like standing up and applying. Yeah. Hey Peach, clap was not for you. Yeah, this movie, it's just kind of nuts with how much stuff they try and put in here. I mean, there's stuff that, like, it doesn't even feel like it really comes back or, like, it references others, like, weird paranormal stuff. Like, there's a moment in which what the fuck was it? The big werewolf monster, it leads them to a cave. They go to the cave, they find all these ancient cave paintings, and they look at it, and then they're researching it, and they're like, well, this looks like this other paranormal thing from India. And it's like, that's a whole other movie that you just threw in here. Yeah, I'm actually just like genuinely stunned by how hard they swung for the fences on this one. And there are actually a few like, ooh, moments. Like, I never got scared.
No.
But there's like moments of the like sun walking around the house, but he looks like a flickering video screen. Every now and again, when he popped up, I'd actually be like, oh shit. Oh fuck, okay. Yeah, like a little bit, like, it wasn't like he jumped up in front of the camera like, blah, but he would just like...
walk from one end of the room to the other.
Yeah, I was like, okay, interesting. All right. Yeah, so this is a bad movie in my opinion. I do not like this movie. But at the same time, I do kind of like this movie.
Yeah.
It's such a kind of a guilty pleasure film. But most guilty pleasure films have way more going for them than this movie did. This movie doesn't have only have like 2 or 3 things going for it. Like how crazy it decides to get, and also how much they lean into some of the bad stuff in the movie. And it's one of those things that shouldn't make up for the bad in this film. It shouldn't make up for the bad characters. It shouldn't make up for just the crazy ass pacing. It shouldn't make up for
the crappy effects.
So many other bad things going on in here. The fact that there's the cameraman has 0 personality in a found footage film. Yeah, there's nothing in this film I should applaud. But some of the stuff in here that should not be applauded makes it actually watchable. Mm-hmm. I can't, again, this is not good. I refuse to call this good. But it is watchable.
Yes.
I kept looking at it like, I'm not looking at my phone during this one. I am invested in this. I am watching this movie right now. And that is the best thing that I can say about this film. Also, Peach is playing with a tripod, so...
Peach, come here.
Hey, boy. Yeah. You want your ball? Get your ball. Get your ball. Yay. There you go. Sorry. There's an amazing thing happening right below the screen. So, yeah. I will give this movie... I'm giving this movie a 4, but it's kind of a fun 4. It's kind of like, it's like an enthusiastic, like, yeah, no, this is not a good movie.
The fun 4.
Yeah, this movie, no, it's not good at all. Like, I'm not going to come in here and, I'm not planting my flag on that mountain, but you know what? If you end up watching it, especially if you're, I don't know, maybe a little drunk, it could be rather enjoyable. Also, it got me learning more about Skinwalker Ranch, and even though I don't believe a single thing that's happened on that ranch, I'm intrigued by it. I actually do want to learn more about this thing now. So, I don't know, what do you give it?
7.
7? Wow!
Yeah,
This is the biggest distance between the two of us on a review.
Yeah, it's I definitely, had fun with it. Probably more so than you did.
Oh, I'd be willing to say so, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. So for any of those people out there who's like, man, you guys, you always just, your scores are always the exact same thing. A 4 and a 7. This isn't even okay, well, you liked it more than me. I didn't like this film. You did.
Yes.
So yeah, this is a very distinct difference between the two of us.
I understand that it's not a very good film, but I still had fun, and therefore I was more lenient.
Hey,
and
man.
once again, it got me intrigued because it was based off a real thing. So.
And that is hey man, we've all said that when it comes to horror is incredibly subjective, and what works for one person will not necessarily work for another person. I have no idea. The thing that works for you is based on a true story.
Yeah, as long as it's well, to a certain extent. I mean, there's some things that are supposed to be based off a true story, but actually are bullshit. So.
Amityville Horror?
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's
I still like Amityville Horror, the movie, but fuck everything to do with the reality of that. Oh, man. That, The Conjuring, anything involving the Warrens. Okay, anything else you want to add to this?
I think that's it.
Okay, also, one other thing I will say, I had a good time talking about this movie. This movie, again, there's nothing in here that I really want to praise, but I do enjoy talking about.
Yeah, I think that's another reason why I give it such a high score. Is if it's a movie you enjoy talking about, then I think it's actually...
And that's totally valid. Yeah, that is a totally valid way of reviewing a film, of giving it bonus points. But okay, so that was... not our next to last. We have 2 more. So it's our next to last found footage film. I don't think we're going to get crazier, except for the ending of tomorrow's film. So come back to hear us talk about that one. Bye. Oh, and happy Halloween. I remember this time.
Yep.